What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Season Gaming Bitcast. It's another fantastic Saturday here. I am your host, Ainsley Bowden, the Poor Shopper, otherwise known as Porsche Power. Joined, as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Dan of Ikishima. What's happening, my friend?
That's right, baby. I'm ready to go. I changed my name. I can't say what it is, but I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go with Dan of Ikishima today. How are you feeling? Because we're running a little behind here.
I'm wide awake and never felt better. Never felt better, honestly.
Yep, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh man.
Yes. People noticed. I had a little bit to drink last night, but we're gonna push through.
7 hours.
We got.
I
was
been
tea.
dead after
I was drinking
7 minutes.
tea for 7 hours. That's what it was.
Come on now.
I'm English after all.
It's all right.
No, I'm good. We got games to talk about, which always wakes me up. So
yeah. Jesus. I can't even handle Diet Dr. Pepper.
You tell it.
Oh, God.
Joining us for the, I don't know how many times. He's a regular around these parts. You know him as Mr. Bad Bit. In reality, he's Mr. Bad Take. Mr. Joseph Moran of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast. What's happening, my friend?
What's up? What's going on, man? Happy to be here. Happy to talk PlayStation. Talk about poor shopping habits. I got me some colored controllers.
Oh, you got the black one there. Yeah, I couldn't make it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're nice, man. They're nice colors.
Do you have the red one too?
Yep, right behind me, right over there.
Oh, there it is. That red is hot, man. I love that red.
It's a different type of shade. It's not like a, bombastic red. It's more God, what's the color? It's more like rosish. Like people are like, this is like the lanolin of is it Yanni type of colors for controllers. Some people think it's pink, some people think it's red. I think it's a nice shade in between. So yeah. But I'm happy to be here, man. We're gonna talk about some Ghost stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah,
PlayStation State of Play, maybe even. Who knows?
Yeah, we definitely got a lot of PlayStation stuff to talk about, and Xbox. It's gonna be pretty much a PlayStation Xbox show, so buckle in. Unless you're playing Mario Golf and want to talk about that, we can. But whatever. Joining us for the first time, our friend Mr. K-Man from the Backlog Chronicles. What is up?
What's up, guys? I'm happy to be here.
It's partially his fault, by the way, because we were up late playing Dark Alliance, and he was forcing drinks upon me like I was an underage girl at a bar.
For every bug, for every bug that we encountered in Dark Alliance, he was taking a shot. So he's pretty.
I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, this explains all the drinking now.
Yes. Yep. You kind of have to drink to play that game. It makes it so much better. It takes it from a 6 to an 8 for sure.
Wow. Just like when you drink at a bar.
Yeah, exactly. We had our beer goggles on for Dark Alliance. No, I'm excited for the. Looks like we got a lot of shit to talk about, and I like most of it. So. Let's roll, baby.
Nice, man. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're very familiar with the show, a regular around these parts, if you will. So I've got to ask you, since you're a first-time guest,
Sure.
You got to give us some of your kind of brief history of gaming and your favorite kind of franchises.
Okay. Super brief. Started gaming way back in Atari 2600 days. Nintendo, PlayStation.
Joe doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I know. I'm slightly older than Joe, just slightly. And I really liked consoles when I was middle school type. And really loved racing sims on the PlayStation. Gran Turismo. I spent just a ton of time playing that. Need for Speed was fun. I loved fighting games back then. Then I discovered I built my own PC, and I discovered PC gaming.
Nice.
So I was strictly a PC gamer for about 10 or 15 years. I missed the Xbox, the OG Xbox, and the PS3. I got in real late. Into the game, but then just recently I got so fed up with everything rotating around PCs in my life that I started console gaming probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And my favorite franchises, I'm a sucker for FPS games like Half-Life is one of my absolute favorites. I used to be really into FPS multiplayer competitively back in the day, but I no longer do that because I'm old. And at this point, I'm just kind of I'm a game whore. I play everything. At this point, I've realized I like really weird shit. So I just go where the tide takes me, and I end up enjoying games I never thought I'd play. But I'd say as of right now, consoles are my shtick, and I probably spend most of my time on the Xbox and PS5 when an exclusive comes out that I need to play.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Yeah, I saw your post about Black Mesa, which is kind of the Half-Life remake, if you will. I still haven't played it. I need to.
It's fun. They actually tweaked a bunch of stuff, and gives you more goodies, and still looks dated, but it's much better than trying to play the original Half-Life. So yeah, they did a good job. It was like a fan-made mod, and then finally took off, and they got some backing, and made it a full-fledged game. So that's kind of fun.
It's awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, man. Chat, what's going on? Good to see everyone. We're just about to get started here. Before we get into what we're currently playing, I just want to say a quick thank you. Literally, as of this morning, the channel hit 6,500 subs. Been some nice progress there, obviously. And the E3 response was really nice. I was telling Dan and I were talking about the fact that our 2 E3 shows, the one prior and the one just after combined, were the highest traffic we've ever seen for the show. And a lot of traffic, obviously, to the site as well. So so thank all of you who listen to this, join us live, obviously, that you in the chat, and anyone that visits the site in general, because it's been a good couple weeks. Busy, but just a lot of good stuff about games, man. So so let's get into it. What currently playing, guys? I haven't been playing a lot, honestly. I've been busy. Nothing's really kind of taken a hold of me. I tried to get into Metro Exodus, and I'm still trying. I'm just not super into it yet. Obviously playing Ratchet. I haven't finished it yet, but I need to. I will soon. Honestly, of everything, I've played Dark Alliance the most lately, just because it's in co-op. And when like we were just joking about, right? If you at least have 3 friends and you're just goofing off, it's a lot of fun, despite the bugs and kind of the weirdness of it. But yeah, there's a lot of enjoyment to be had there. But what have you guys been up to, man? Anything good?
I've been playing some Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah, how is it?
It's good. Like it's I think the combat's really great.
Anytime your voice pitch raises, it's good. It's good.
It's good.
There's a caveat there.
Yeah. No, it's good. I like the combat a lot. The combat's really fun. Okay. You gotta fight with the camera a little bit, which is always my big pet peeve. It's why I don't like Avengers. I think the combat could be much better if the camera just followed you a little bit more.
Only ridiculous people really love that game. We know this.
I know. Listen. Yeah. Oh, God. But the combat's fantastic. Just the blending of different powers is kind of each fight or each level that you get into. It's kind of like you're solving a little puzzle with every type of situation you get into. The story itself, because I'm not a JRPG person, or Japanese games typically aren't my jam, because it's very anime-esque, I guess. So I'm much more of a Western gamer in that regard. This is something I want to try to break in, or at least understand these games better. So I thought starting with this would be a good point, and it is for the most part. It's just very much what a Japanese developed game is going to be. Very much it's the fate of the world.
You're not saving the world again, are you?
Oh, you're saving the world. We don't know really from what. They're called the Others. They have no explanation whatsoever. It's sad. And then it's the fate of the world, but then they're oh, so who do you like? And I'm oh, Jesus Christ. Can we let me just fight the world and not think about dating these cute anime people for just a second in all the different proportions. I uninstalled Dark Alliance from my Xbox because I saw the reviews and they're not good. So I'm interested to know what you guys feel about that game, because for me, I was talking to Mav last night. He's it's good with friends, and I'm
that's exactly it.
But here's the thing. Anything's better with friends. I gave him the example of going to the hospital, better if you have friends with you. That's not a good that's not a good defense. Like, anything's good if I have someone that I enjoy by my side. And to me, like, I saw Skilled Up's review. I saw some of my buddies' reviews on it, and I was like, yeah, this kind of looks like a dud. And so I'm interested what you guys feel mechanically, what's working for you opposed to what's not, because I hear the glitches are.
Yeah, I mean, Skill Up is,
I like him, Ains. I like
whatever.
Him. Go easy. Go easy on him.
Well, he's hyperbolic, right? And I don't really get down with that. So, Dan, have you played it at all?
No.
Okay.
I actually also watched that video as well as another one, and I was just like, this is insane. I mean, he is very hyperbolic. However, when you show actual footage of what is happening, and it's like, yeah, that looks like it sucks balls. There's no chance. I don't play co-op games anyway, normally. So it was never really on my radar to begin with. So.
Well, Kev, I know Kev and I have played together in a group of 4 several times now. And we kind of joked about already, right? There are bugs. There are glitches. The combat is certainly not God of War. You know what I mean? It feels a little delayed, a little sluggish at times. However, all jokes aside, when you are playing with buddies, there's like you can kind of combo abilities together and kind of you work together to take down bosses and enemies, and there's loot and your character building, and the levels are pretty well designed. You kind of like have to explore, and you find secrets around the levels, and you can do side stuff, and I don't know, it's just one of those kind of dumb fun games for me. I wouldn't rate it super high or anything. I think the ratings are probably pretty on point, but I am having fun with it. I've played it 3 or 4 nights this week for a few hours each, and just had fun each time. Kev, I don't know what you think, man.
Is there anything on the systems level that kind of like it doesn't do anything exceptionally well? I mean,
it doesn't do anything exceptionally well.
No, it doesn't. Speaking of Dark Alliance, that's what I've been playing too. Basically, had a crazy week, so I've jumped on with Ains and a few other buddies.
Bomber, Jordan, both in the chat.
Bomber, Jordan, yep. And Mike as well jumped on. Yep. And we've enjoyed it. There are bugs mechanically. It's like Ains said. I play the barbarian guy, and it feels like I'm playing like on xCloud or some shit, because it's the input latency is pretty bad. It could be a solid 6 or 7. If they ironed out some of these bugs. Some of the strangest shit, like some of the assets don't stream at the same frame rate that you're playing at. So like some projectiles seem like they're 30 frames. Elevators are like 30 frames a second when you're actually moving at 60 frames a second. Just some weird shit. But overall, I mean, it is enjoyable. We haven't really encountered any sort of game-breaking things. Close, but we were able to overcome them. But it's janky. It's janky fun. I mean, it's a guilty pleasure at this point. But I don't know, honestly. I think this has a lot to do with the Game Pass effect too. I mean, it was there. I don't know that I would have purchased it based off of the reviews, but I'm glad I didn't not play it based off of the reviews, because I'm enjoying it, and anything you enjoy that you can get over with some penicillin is okay by me.
That's kind of it. Like I don't know your guys' thoughts on that anymore. It seems like, and I know we've talked about this before on this show, Dan, is like reviews are obviously, I think they're necessary, and I think they provide insight into games. And as you said, even someone like SkillUp, who I don't necessarily like, but that's neither here nor there. You said he showed footage of the bugs and kind of made his reasoning for why he rated it the way he did, which is fair. But I think we definitely put far too much weight into this game is not higher than a 75 Metacritic. Therefore, I'm not playing it. It's garbage. And I think that's just far too prevalent in today's industry. Now, I think the counter argument is also fair that there's so many games and so many excellent ones. Why would you waste time playing something that's not excellent? So that's fair too.
Yeah, that's I'm in Dan's camp there.
Yeah, and I think that's fair too. I just think I try, and I know I have been many times, so it's probably mostly a lie, but I try not to be as dismissive of games that come out, get a bad rap right away, and everyone just kind of disregards them. You know, I at least give it a shot. And to Kev's point, would I have bought this on day one? Probably not. But at least, you know, I've now got probably 15, maybe 20 hours into it out of Game Pass, and I've had a good time playing it. So it's what it is. It
kind of feels like when I was taking a look at some of the videos, it kind of looks like a PS2 game that has online support.
So I don't know. Again, Kev can comment here too, but graphically,
I'm not talking graphically. I'm just even like mechanics and stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, it looks and runs well for the most part, other than the weird frame things and kind of delayed inputs. But yeah, it's mechanically. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Gauntlet games that came out on the PS2 and OG Xbox. The Dark Alliance. Not Dark Alliance. That's the name of the damn game we're talking about. What was, you know, there was two of them.
I always I know what you're saying. My brain's going Dark Forces, which is Star Wars game.
It's something like that. It's dark, one of there, but it is mechanically, it's a little dated like that. Though I will say the loot system is pretty well done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, that's good. Yeah, because like I saw a lot of people because I was watching
Gauntlet Legends. That's it.
There you go.
Thanks.
I was watching like a few videos and like I stumbled on the IGN one.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, they're making a good case of why they're rating it the way they're rating it. And then my dumb self, I was like, let me read the comments. And my God. And so like that's why like I made a tweet. I'm like, guys, you couldn't like a game that reviews poorly. Like you could like a 5 or a 6. Like it's fine. That's fine.
It's okay.
You can acknowledge its flaws at the same exact time, going like, yeah, look, Fast and the Furious ain't winning an Oscar, but we all go in droves to watch these dumbass movies because they're just dumb fun. So
you gotta know what to expect.
Yeah,
exactly. So like it's fine.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very accurate. So, but anyway, enough about Dark Alliance. I would say if you are on Xbox and are on Game Pass and have a group you play with regularly and co-op games, give it a shot. I mean, you can have some fun with it, but yeah, don't go looking for anything special by any means. Anything else you guys want to talk about currently playing? Anything good?
That's bit. I mean, I've been playing Metro. I've been playing Scarlet Nexus.
What do you think of Scarlet?
Yeah,
there's too much talking. It reminds me of Persona 5, like the beginning, where it's just like all like shut the fuck up and get me to something. That's why I never got that far in Persona, because I couldn't get past just the gibberish that I didn't need. I mean, it's unimportant too.
It is a lot of relationship building in Persona.
Yeah, I mean, it maybe not be that deep. Like the combat is actually super fun, and you know, I can see it when you play the demo of it. Like you get a lot of stuff. Like you're a farther down the road build, I think. So, you know, this kind of slows it down a little bit, and you start, you have to kind of build up your character through the skill trees and different powers and your different groups that you're with and stuff like that. But there's a lot of it, just, you know, and that part is great. But like to Joe's point, there's just like some stuff I'm just like, why am I sitting here? Like there's so many people you can talk to. None of them have anything to say, you know, like it's just worthless. There's a big open world hub.
Does it fill in any lore or anything? Is it just random list?
Like a lot of them are just random people just saying on the street, like, gosh, you know, that building looks really nice. Like, why do you even have a something over their head? Like, I don't need to talk to them and hear them. You know, it's just something stupid. You know,
there's 20 main characters.
Right. Like I've only got 2 that like I can use right now. Like that's how, you know,
20.
I'm not very far in. So
do you get to pick like 1 or 2 that you
not that I've gotten so
like
far.
You know, regularly, like Suikoden 2 is known for having that gigantic roster of characters, but you kind of pick the ones you want to build your party together. Is it like that?
Yeah, you can build with whoever you want to.
Okay.
So like, you know, you've got your powers, then you can connect through these other people in your party who have different powers. Like one guy might have like an electricity thing, and you connect through him during the battle, you know, and you gain that ability that he has to add to your attacks. And so it's a really cool mechanic. It's just I only have 1 right now. You know, I'm not super far, and I want to go back and change this. I normally play these games with the Japanese voice and the English dubs. I can't with this anymore because it's so the stuff is so tiny, and it's just some of the dialogue is just hard to read for me.
Okay.
And I don't think it's necessary because I played Astral Chain, I think with English voices, and it worked great. And that's kind of what I was expecting with this game. And there are some similarities, but Astral Chain at least got to the point, and it wasn't, it's this tremendous game, but it was still.
Well, really I think Astral critically was rated a lot higher than this.
Yeah, it has to be.
Maybe for good reason. Yeah,
it brought different new mechanics, get different kinds of gameplay that you haven't seen before. This one, I'm not there yet with it, but I'm also super early, so it might change. We'll see how it goes. And then Metro, for some reason, I'm still playing through that again. I think I'm at the end.
People keep telling me it gets better, man. That game's not doing much for me.
Here's the thing with that one. Like, it's so slow. The pacing on it is so slow. I mean, it doesn't, like, because everything is a different hub world, right? So, and some are bigger than others, some are smaller. It's just, it's the story supposed to push you through, but there are times where you can't skip the dialogue. You have to sit there. There's times where it's like a 10-minute dialogue where you're just sitting there like, oh my God, I understand she's sick. Let's go do this and get the, whatever we need to do. What the hell is happening? Why are we still talking? Let's just go. I'm just like, let's get on the stick. But I mean, at the end, you're kind of like, okay, it was a good game. It was really well done. It looks amazing. Yeah. Most of the mechanics are really solid. So, and then I finished Ratchet and Clank, platinumed it.
Nice.
That game is amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see more
I platinumed it as well.
I think all three of you have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
I'm the slacker.
Really good game.
It's so
you're slacker.
Yeah, it's really good. I got the Easter egg gun, and that is legit magic.
The Easter egg gun.
The
one Rhino
that opens up the portal. Yeah.
Oh, the Rhino.
The Rhino, but I've maxed it out so it shows me all the things.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. I love that game. I saw one tweet that my eyes literally rolled. It did a 360. One person's like, I spent 2 weeks with this game and I beat it and it's just too short. I can't pay day one anymore. I'm like, you spent 2 weeks on this game. I think that's good time.
I had a lot of time into it.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know. Yeah, that's my favorite game of the year so far.
It's nice. Nice.
Sorry.
Jordan's first platinum, he said. Yeah, he's new to the PlayStation world.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Congrats.
Nice.
Yeah, when he skipped basically everything, PS4 and everything. So when he got his PS5, it was like he hadn't played Ghost, he hadn't played God of War, he hadn't played Last of Us. It's like, oh my God, I'd love to replay all those experiences for the first time again.
Right? Very lucky.
All right, well, that's a good segue. Let's get into it. Let's get in the news. So we're gonna we've got, like I said, a bunch of PlayStation and a bunch of Xbox news to go to. We're gonna start with the PlayStation side of the house because leaking out this week, which it seemed like a dam just broke, that this has been coming for a while, but all of a sudden it just spread like wildfire, is that Sucker Punch, not Sucker Punch, who makes Ghost? I'm confusing that.
No, Sucker Punch makes Ghost.
Okay, good. I'm sorry, guys. A lot of drinking. Sucker Punch is apparently making a standalone expansion type game in the vein of Miles Morales and Uncharted Lost Legacy for the Ghost of Tsushima universe called Ghost of Ikishima. This is apparently been in development for a while and is actually targeting releasing this year. They haven't obviously confirmed any of this. We'll probably know here in a few weeks when PlayStation decides to do their show. But I know that, especially for Dan, I know you were a big fan as well, Joe. I don't know about you, Kev. But, Ghost really, in terms of new IPs, really did well for PlayStation as one of their most successful new IPs of the last generation, along with probably Horizon. So I know that this is obviously very, very anticipated. And once the news broke, actually, funny enough, we were one of the first sites to post it. Traffic blew up. So obviously there's interest in this franchise and IP, right? So this is exciting for me, guys. I think, they updated Ghost for the PS5 and you can play in 60 FPS and stuff now. But thinking about if they've actually had kind of the dev kits, right, to kind of fully optimize this whatever this ends up being, the standalone expansion. I don't know if we have a good word for them yet. But if they optimize it for PS5, this could not only be a really good game, could be a stunning showcase for the new console as well. So Kev, did you were you into Ghost? Is that
yes? So I enjoyed it so much that I actually, when I got my PS5, I lost my save, and I was probably about 10 hours in, and I replayed it all on the PS5.
Okay,
which actually made it a better experience. And I loved Ghost, man. I didn't I didn't platinum it or anything, because some of those side quests are meh. But I followed the main story all the way down, and I really enjoyed it. I played some of their co-op multiplayer too.
Yeah, the
and
free
that was good. That was
did.
well done. Yeah, that was well done. It wasn't for me, but it was well done. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm day one for whatever the fuck they end up putting out, because it was one of their one of my best games of, well, I guess really last year. I mean, I finished it early this year, but yeah, I'm excited for this.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I never finished the first one, and I've been saying I need to go back. My save didn't carry because I don't think it uploaded from the PS4. So I literally need to hook up one of my PS4s, upload my save, because I have a lot of time in it. I just didn't actually get through the ending. So I really liked it, but it wasn't top tier for me. It wasn't up there with Horizon or God of War for me.
Really?
But I really liked it. So I'm interested in this. I mean, I know Dan and Joe, you're both obviously very interested in it, but what do you think this is? Do you think, we're looking at like a 10 to 15 hour experience, very similar to a Miles, very similar to Lost Legacy, that's, maybe priced in the $50 range? Is that what we're thinking here?
I mean, that's fine with me, Ryan. I mean, I'm good with that. Like, I did a little bit of research. Ikishima is actually, it looks like it's a third of the size of Tsushima in real life.
Oh, in real life. Okay.
Yeah, like if you look at, like, I just looked at Google Maps. I was like, what the heck is Ikishima? So I looked at it, and it looks like it's just off the coast of Tsushima, just about a third of the size of what Tsushima is. So I'm guessing one of those areas. So, which is, I mean, if you went through the first whole area, I mean, and did everything, you're looking about 20 to 30 hours, doing everything of gameplay. So that would be fine, as long as it's reasonably priced. It's probably going to be a PS4 game as well. I mean, I highly doubt
100%.
Yeah, it's not going to just be a PS5 exclusive. And they've already got the original game running at 60 on the PS5. It's still one of the best looking games out there, period. I mean, even some of the newer ones that have released, it's still amazing.
The art direction's really solid.
Yeah, it's solid. Yeah. I mean, just graphically, it's stunning. One of the best photo modes in the game right now. So it's I'm super excited for this. The only thing I worry about with games like this is like the connection to a new character. Like, is it going to be, is it going to be Jin going over to this new island? And, because there's a whole lore. I mean, not lore, it's actually history of what actually happened there. And this takes a little bit of liberty, obviously, but, it's still based on that. So I'm curious on what they're going to do. I'm all in day one, period. It's not even going to matter. So I'm ready to go, man.
It's awesome. And speaking of their photo mode, we actually ran a contest at the site for screenshots. So if you ever want to see a whole collection of amazing screenshots from Ghost, you can find those on our site. It's all up in a single post there. I mean, just some incredible submissions that we got. So, in fact, the thumbnail for this show was one of them, submitted by Sean Labrie, I believe. So, nice. Joe, what do you think, man?
This is perfect. So for me, I love Ghost of Tsushima. For Sony, I think this was, I don't think they thought this game was going to be as huge as it was, because this ended up being the top selling new IP PlayStation's made. And
did it sell more than Horizon? Really?
Yeah, it sold more than Horizon. And in terms of like sales, I think maybe just physical alone, it's right behind Last of Us Part 2 in terms of like sales. So like it did incredibly well. And it's because it's a really fun game with an interesting story and characters that, I don't know, it feels like a Star Wars game to me. Just the way they tie it with family, with this overarching villain. And so for me, with the I can't pronounce the island's name. If I could get
Ikishima.
Is it Ikishima? Thank you.
I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that's what we're going with.
We're Westerners. We don't know. We're not. But this makes sense because if I'm not mistaken, this is an island that's also during the Mongol invasion captured by the Mongols as they head to mainland Japan. So it would make sense. Two of the characters from Ghosts end up leaving Tsushima to go to Japan. That island's just along the way. So you could be following one, two, maybe both of these characters as they're fighting the Mongols in this small island. When I think of like a 10 to 15 hour mark, I think that's perfect for this game. For me, I'm just like, give me an excuse to play it again. Like, give me an excuse to play this game again, because I honestly love it. It's a game that's gotten me infatuated with Japanese culture that no other game or even this piece of media has been able to do for me. So I'm all in, man. I'm pleased right now.
Well, I mean, according to what we're hearing, it won't be long, right? So it feels like, and we'll kind of transition to this supposed July event we're going to get in the next couple of weeks from PlayStation, which, if you haven't heard, they're supposed to have a state of play or some type of showcase similar to what we obviously just went through with E3 in July. Alongside EA's is July 22nd. I can pretty much promise you that PlayStation's will be better. I'll just say that right now. Yeah, a big hot take there. But it feels like this will be one of those things, it feels like we may get a release date for Horizon. And I know you're still in the camp, Joe, that this is 2021, whether or not it is regardless. But if we get a new kind of side story Ghost and Horizon Forbidden West, which is a full-blown sequel, within 6 months, that's going to be one hell of a showing for them. And we're also hearing as of this morning, and I can say from pretty reliable sources, I feel pretty confident in these, saying that there's going to be God of War gameplay at the showcase as well. Yeah. So my thought right now is, you got a July showcase. If you come out with God of War gameplay, Horizon release date, show this Ghost of Ikishima formally, right, and give us a release date. And then they show the third-party partnerships they have, things like Final Fantasy 16, potentially Chapter 2 of Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I mean, they've got a strong showing on their hands, mixed in with obviously some of the smaller titles, AA's and indies. So this could be a really, really excellent show. And the fact that we're talking new Ghost, new Horizon, new God of War, I mean, these are the big boys for them. So yeah, those
are 3 titles right off the bat that people give a crap about.
That people will buy the PS5 for, right? So we can talk about that. Let's talk about your thoughts on the potential of the show. But I also think one thing I forgot to mention on the Ghost is I really do like this approach that Sony's taking with this standalone, slightly lower priced expansion of major IPs. Miles was obviously a huge hit for all the fans of that. I'm not, but I mean, obviously the sales and the reviews and everything else, your guys' comments on it speak for itself. Uncharted Lost Legacy is a pretty beloved title. I know people hold that pretty high in the Uncharted series. And then if we get one for Ghost, I think this is just excellent. And for all we know, because we don't know, God of War could be something similar too. We don't know yet if it's a full-blown God of War sequel or if it's going to be something like a 15-hour kind of continuation. I mean, I think we think it's a sequel, but we don't know. So it's going to be interesting, but I like the approach regardless. But yeah, July show, guys. God of War, Horizon, Ghost, potentially Final Fantasy. Sounds like it's going to be a banger, Joe.
Please don't say that word.
By the way,
my family's freaking out downstairs. I hear this word. I'm just annoyed now. I'm annoyed.
Let me get to these super chats real quick. I missed. Holy crap! I missed one from Graham like a bunch of comments ago. I'm so sorry, Graham. Can't stay as it's family day, but sending my love and support to one of the best channels and podcasts like ever. Just shame Dan is on it.
God, that sounds.
I don't know why you're getting attacked out of the blue.
Super anti-Puerto Rican.
Just a bunch of racists.
Yeah,
man,
I mean, what the hell is happening here?
I know.
He's Canadian.
We're gonna have to just start like the Boricua podcast here and just like
Boricua.
Just leave these white guys out of here. I mean, I don't know what to do anymore. We're just getting thrown all over the place.
I don't know what's going on. Thankfully, I'm not white.
No. No. Oh man.
Thanks, Graham. Appreciate it. Yeah. Mo, love you boys. Hope you have a wonderful show. Just wanted to drop and see your lovely faces. Cheers to you and everyone watching. Thank you, brother. Always appreciate the support. Guys, give best wishes to Mo. He's dealing with flooding up in Michigan, which is causing havoc for him and his family. So very frustrating. But all right, Joe, PlayStation show, big IPs, likely in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Sounding good.
Sounding good, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to see the stuff now. I think this PlayStation show has a lot more weight on it. You as a company just have to show who just paid $500 for your new piece of plastic, why you should continue to be excited and support this brand for the next, 2, possibly 3 years. You're going to try to, take people that are just saw that Xbox showcase and we're just like, okay, I'm up in the air because this thing's really, Xbox is doing something. You got to prove to people now. No. Whoa. Yeah. Starfield's great, but this is better. And that's kind of their mission.
Don't bring your fanboy in here, Mr. Pony.
Oh no, I'm saying that's their mission. I'm not believing any of that. But we only saw trailer of Starfield with a guy sitting in a cockpit. So settle down.
Hey.
I'm sorry. You also moved a computer. Whoa, it's nuts. So and we saw a mech outside. So.
You just wanted to say the word cock.
Pretty true.
But yeah, so they have a lot on the line. But I think the one thing that I'm not nervous about is them showing the games, because it's what you just mentioned, right? You got 3 titles that we know are going to be there. I thought God of War is always a shoe-in that we'd see gameplay. Horizon, we are definitely going to get a date for it. This new Ghost thing, we're going to see it. We're going to hopefully get excited for it. Those are 3 games I'm super interested right now for.
No doubt.
And then, mix it in with a couple of AA studios, a couple of your partnerships that you have with Square with like Final Fantasy 16. They got the partnerships. I think this is the showcase to show them off. The one thing that 2 things that I'm wondering is, do we see their answer to Game Pass here or their equivalent to? Do we see that at a later show? Because we know they're working on something. What is that? And what does it look like? It can't be a 1-to-1. That's just improbable. And at the same exact time, for the second thing I'm curious about is, do we see those studio acquisitions that we've been hearing about actually announced here as well?
Yeah, on the Game Pass one, it's an interesting question because they have kind of commented less publicly, but it's out there. You know what I mean? It's not as upfront for them. But they have commented that they are working on, their services and basically improving the offering of their service. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do see at least a comment or a couple minutes on maybe some type of continued expansion of their the PS Plus collection. Maybe they start to do that. Maybe they start to do something where, you're offering specific discounts or something on major titles. I don't know. I think it's a good point that we may see some type of expansion there. I don't know if they're going to be ready to kind of premiere a full-on service, right? I think it's going to be more evolutionary than revolutionary, in my opinion.
Same. Absolutely.
Because it's less important to them right now. Now, I know you and I have talked pretty extensively on Cast about the acceleration of the need to respond. Seems to be happening, right? Because especially after Xbox's E3, where I think we all agree they crushed it, there's more focus than ever on the Xbox ecosystem and Game Pass. And I know some people are tired of hearing about Game Pass, but facts are facts. It's a tremendous value, and it's got a lot of visibility on it right now with a lot of content coming for it.
And I mean, that's why I think you're seeing a lot of Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Guerrilla have multiplayer projects in the pipeline.
Yeah. It's what we talked about, man. It's engagement.
That's the answer to the services is bringing the engagement to that service.
Yep.
Giving people a reason to hang on to that service.
It's so funny, right? Because you look at PS4 and Xbox One era. PS4 became obviously very well known for their single player narrative experiences for good reason. Xbox One was primarily partnership, shooters, racers, a lot of ongoing experiences, right? And we kind of heard that on both flip sides. And now look at the priorities. Not that they've shifted, but you see PlayStation beginning to invest in the engagement and multiplayer, and you see Xbox investing in single player RPGs and stuff. And it's just funny how they're always trying to fill those gaps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting, man. I mean, we saw a great show with Xbox. It was amazing. We know what we're getting there. So now it's Sony's turn. You know, I mean, it's exciting to, you know, because we've got all that stuff coming. Maybe we see some new Gran Turismo stuff. Maybe we see, a new IP. There's, to me, I just want some new games. You know, I want some new cool single player experiences. I want to see what they're working on to a certain extent. You know, I mean, I want God of War, Horizon, all those games. I don't know, man. I mean, I have no idea. I didn't even know they were having an event. You know, I didn't know they announced
it. It's not formally announced yet, but
okay.
It's like Ghost, right? It's like everyone kind of in the know knows that it's coming in the next few weeks.
Fantastic. All right. But I mean, they have a template, you know, it doesn't have to be exactly like what Xbox did. I mean, and their PlayStation, you know, the way they do it is just fine. They just show whatever it is, and that lady talks over it or says something in the beginning, and then they show it. That's fine.
She could be better.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, it's just, that's all I want to see. I don't care about like everybody else's thing. There's a separate time for that. And I said that before when Xbox had their thing, and they did that the next week where they had a more in-depth sit down with some of the developers, which was awesome. You know, and that's exactly what I think the template should be for all these companies going forward is, you know, show the hotness, you know, then come back and show us how you make it, you know, but give us the hotness first, get us excited, and then come back and, you know, we'll get into it, you know, but, you know, it's exciting. I mean, we're ramping it up. Next gen is, you know, going crazy, right now. And
love it.
I'm super excited.
Yeah. Quick shout out to Mama, our community manager. What is happening? Good to see you. Yeah. So Kev, I mean, you know, we talk all the time, this kind of core community around, you know, just being able to play anything. You said it right at the start, right? And as Dan just said, we're coming into this generation where it's starting to ramp up now. You can see it. And Xbox just crushed it. We know there's a ton of content coming over the next year and a half from them. PlayStation comes out, kind of shows the same thing. I mean, we're literally in gaming heaven for the people who don't.
Yes, I've never been so excited, honestly. I mean, we got a ton of awesome shit coming. Yeah. And now's the time to grab, you know, both ends of the spectrum there, Xbox and PlayStation, because there's not gonna be enough fucking time. That's really all it comes down to. I'm worried about having enough time to play all these awesome games. And PlayStation State of Plays have always sparked my interest because I love a good single player experience, you know, and that's kind of what I've associated PlayStation with. And I will play all of these games. I mean, I'm looking at this list and it excites me because I played Horizon, you know, all the way through. I played the No, it's not Forbidden West. The Frozen Tundra shit. Okay, I played that one. Yes, thank you. And I played that, and I played through God of War, the snow shit, and all of it was good. I mean, these are just good games, man. And I absolutely have had some of my best gaming experiences on the PlayStation. And so that it will always be there. Like, I don't even care if I buy a PlayStation just to play, you know, these 2 or 3 games over the course of a generation. It would be worth it because they're that good and they're that memorable. So yeah, I'll be tuning into the State of Play for sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think. Well, let me get a super chat real quick. So, Fat Boy Horror, thank you, brother. $5. Sony show sounds like it might be a banger, Joe. Everyone's saying it. You better get on that train.
I hate that word too.
Also, we live, Dan. He's at least a 7. There you go, Dan.
We live, Dan.
Yeah, I said it wrong. I'm sorry. We love Dan is what I meant to say.
All right, thank you. We can live, Dan. Yeah, I don't think you guys can handle it, but all right.
The one thing, Joe, you kind of commented on. One thing I was realizing as we were talking is the stuff that we're talking about is all known quantity, meaning Ghost, God of War, Horizon now is a very obviously well-known IP. Final Fantasy, you know, 800 games in that series. I think it's important, in my opinion, maybe not important, but I'd like to see it, for them to show a new first party IP. We know, they said a couple months ago, they had like 12 new IPs in the works, something like that, from a first party perspective. I think it'd be cool if we saw something, just something new that no one's seen before. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the thing that excites me as well, is like the things we don't know, the things we haven't seen, what studios are working on, stuff that we don't know about. Like Guerrilla Second Studio's been working on something, I think, since like 2017. Like it's like we have multiple I think they probably consolidated, but like Insomniac has like a lot of small VR teams. Like there are multiple teams within these studios that are working on some really cool stuff. I'm really interested to see what they have in store, and more so of what the X devs are working on, because Sony's really making this push of like X devs, the people that are our second party folks.
Yeah.
They're PlayStation studios. That's how we recognize them. They get the same support our first parties do. I want to see how that plan pans out, because I'm skeptical of it, to be honest, because we've gotten a few games from them, like Sackboy's excellent. Destruction All-Stars was a thing that existed. And then like Returnal, and depending on where you fall on that game as well. So
it's amazing.
It's amazing. Exactly. And if you have any problems with it, well, you suck. But yeah, you're a horrible person. I don't know. But yeah, it's what are those studios also working on? Yeah.
And what about I hadn't thought about it till you just said VR, but we know PSVR 2 is coming at some point. They talked about it several months ago now. I wonder if they give us a glimpse of what that's going to look like. I don't know if it's ready or not.
I don't think you need to tease that right now. I think they showed the VR controllers because Xbox was yapping so much, and they probably were sending out those dev kits. So they're like, all right, these controllers are going to, it's similar to the DualSense. These controllers are going to get leaked. Might as well just show them right now in this little blog post. Get in front of it. But I don't know if you need to show off the headset right now.
No.
I think the highlight needs to be, I think this solely needs to be a PS5 and PS5 services event.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're probably right. Especially knowing they're still trying to build that install base with all the production issues. And I can only imagine if the PSVR unit is a standalone unit, the second one, as we've heard, then they're going to face the same issues in manufacturing, right?
So, and I think when it comes to the VR stuff as well, the rumor is they're targeting a next year holiday, which makes a lot more sense because by then production's not going to be a problem. Hopefully,
we hope.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about all these games but there's so many third-party games that really carry these systems anyway.
Yes.
First-party games are amazing, and it's why if you can't afford both, you buy one or the other. It's just depending on your preference. But there's so many third-party games out there that is just we have to put in between these amazing games that we're getting from these guys. It's just we're not hurting. I'll just say that. We're doing all right as gamers, and as far as content goes.
You think we have enough to play?
Yeah. I mean, we just got
people can stop bitching then, huh?
Yeah,
how
maybe.
About that?
No,
maybe.
That's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
No, it's crazy. Oh boy, lady, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just like to stare at Haynes creepily, if I'm honest.
Weird.
I mean, we all do though. That's half
you
my
all do? Okay.
afternoon.
All right, guys. Yeah. So anyway,
that's not much better.
Yeah.
I need to change my avatar then. All right, Joe. You said you wanted to talk about this. I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm going to let you take the floor because you want to talk about the Blue Box Studios conspiracy, the Hassan hostage videos. And
yes, you mean Kojima in a mask, right?
Kojima's got him at gunpoint, behind the camera.
So can you guys sum it up real quick? Because I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've seen this guy talking. I'm like, I don't even know what he's talking about. I've muted so much stuff, words that stuff doesn't even come up. I've got I got Sony muted, and Xbox and like Game Pass.
You got so much stuff muted, you don't even have a timeline anymore.
My timeline is basically like stuff just sneaks in. I'm like, oh, that's good. I guess that's nice. Like I have no idea. Like I think Kojima's muted, so it's like I just want to know what's going on.
For the best.
Yeah. I like what Miles Dapierre said. He said somewhere along the lines of like, make a long story short, indie games making a horror game, people want it to be Kojima. That's pretty much what it is.
Mo went down the rabbit hole in this. I mean, he was ranting last week about it, which was hilarious. But long story short, and Joe, please feel free to jump in. Sure. Blue Box Studio, small developer, they previewed this game called Abandon at the last State of Play, right? It just showed a survival game in the wilderness.
In the PS blog, by the way.
In the what? I'm sorry?
The PlayStation blog, not a
blog. Sorry. And along the way, they were teasing some stuff, and they happened to tease something that said their title begins with an S and ends with an L, which obviously set everything ablaze that people thought it was Silent Hill. Mm-hmm. And then from there, there's a whole bunch of other things that happened, but long story short, the conspiracy kind of formed together that the Silent Hill IP was bought by PlayStation from Konami so that Kojima could be secretly involved in making a game. Right. And all of this with Blue Box Studios and Hassan and all this stuff is like a viral marketing campaign.
Yeah, because the studios never made a game ever. This will be their first. They're somehow partnered with PlayStation. They're making this strange app that even if I try to explain it, it doesn't really make any sense. The rumor got out of hand when they put out a tweet going, our name's not really abandoned. It starts with an S and ends with an L. And even as a non, like I'm just getting into horror games, never played a Silent Hill in my life. Oh. Even I drew, that's Silent Hill. Oh, they're working on Silent Hill. Now, yeah, it's gotten out of hand, very much so. And people are drawing conclusions and finding patterns where there really aren't any. And there's really two conclusions to this, because Hassan also keeps on pushing the date back of this app at the very last minute, constantly. And the other thing that's connecting it to Kojima is that Kojima had that weird trailer in the Summer Game Fest where, Norman Reedus and his fetus is in a blue coat with the Netherlands flag on his shoulder jumping into a box. So it's like blue box. That's where people are drawing the conclusions. So what I get from this is, first off, they need to hire a PR intern. I saw a lot of people when Hassan put that video out going, I feel so bad for these devs. They just want to showcase their games. Twitter's so mean. Gamers TM, they're the worst. They made this man cry, and I'm ashamed to be called a gamer like you. Leave Britney alone. Like, it's that type of energy. And I look at this. This is where my rant comes in, because I enjoy a good conspiracy theory, right? You tell me, the grassy knoll, I'm with you. Let's go exploring that, right? You want to tell me the moon landing is fake? I'm right there with you. Let's go. UFOs are real.
Not flat Earth, though. Right.
That would pan out. Flat Earth, let's discuss it. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. I'm with you. Trickle down economics works. I'll go with you there on that one too. But here, I love a good conspiracy. I sound like I believe it. It's just like I want to see how people get this desperate in belief, right? To try to find something that's not there. This studio's kind of either done every wrong PR move to address this issue, because they even had like a support dev come out going, yeah, no, this is a real game. These are just indie guys who are we're making it with them. And that person, guess what? Last game they made, I believe, was Death Stranding, or helped make. So it's like they're not helping their case here. They're not. They just need to.
So the studio helped them make Death Stranding?
No. The guy was involved. This studio hasn't done anything prior.
Hassan.
Yeah.
No, they're like, possibly not real. He just might be a guy.
Yeah,
he could be like a complete. Okay.
Well, who knows?
Right.
He's way too attractive to be a dev, from what I've heard. So
way too clean.
Yeah, maybe he's AI.
Maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe he's the Unreal Engine.
Wow.
Like,
he's a meta human.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe that's the whole thing. Like, this is an Unreal Engine 5 game, and that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
We're just doing demos. Fantastic.
I'm not going to go down the conspiracy any further. This is not Kojima. Who knows what this studio is? I have my theories, but what I will say is this: they've made every wrong turn that I think it really did get to the point that a PlayStation PR person just got on the phone going, just make a fucking video. Just tell them you're not who they think you are. Let's just end this. Stop it. Because if I was, I'd want this to end. Now, if you're that indie developer, though, and you're feeling pressure because people want Silent Hill, and people are like, oh, you're being so mean to him. No, he made every wrong PR decision in the book. Yeah, he gets the Twitter parade. I'm sorry. Because at the same exact time, he's gotten millions of eyes on his product, on his studio, on himself. There are going to be millions of people watching this trailer in hopes that it's Silent Hill. He's gotten tens of thousands of Twitter followers. That video alone, last time I looked at it, was like 500,000 people tuned in.
Well, they had like 2,100 followers on Twitter when this whole thing started. They are almost at 35,000 right now.
It's worked out for them. So like, no matter if 90% of all these people went, whatever, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You still now have like tens of thousands of people that are interested in your game. It was free PR. You never had to, you didn't pay for a thing.
Yep.
So no, I don't feel bad for him. He's done every wrong PR move and gotten rewarded for it. So like, to me, it's just like all that he has to do and all this team has to do at this point, just make a decent game.
That's the issue, right?
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be good.
If it sucks ass, then I mean, this is going to go down as one of the biggest debacles, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. I knew bits and pieces, so you guys kind of filled it in there. This is insane.
It is insane.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I can't even imagine going down this hole.
Yeah, it's insane. And if nothing else, we know that everybody wants a Silent Hill game. I mean, obviously. So Sony, everybody wants one. Let's go.
Yep. We don't know if anything's on. And then make it matters worse, Konami's official Silent Hill account comes out like 2 weeks ago and is like, oh, we have a reveal coming for you. And it was like, what? And then they release new merchandise in their store, like skateboards and shirts.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Yeah. So I don't know what's going on.
Profiting
I'll call it right now.
Yeah.
Silent Hill's a thing. It's not made by Kojima. Definitely made by Bloober Team. That's where my bets are.
That's the prevailing rumor for sure. Yeah. And you know, alongside
we talked about
this,
it
right?
in February, so it's like it has to be. Yeah.
And the other prevailing rumor, which I believe has a lot of weight, and even everyone's either not favorite or favorite leaker, depending on where you stand, of Jeff Grubb. He had been updated, I think, last night on a show saying that Kojima's thing with Xbox is essentially a done deal. He said something to the effect of it's too far down the line now with negotiations to not be a thing. So literally now it's just finalizing the details and what it's supposed to be from what we're hearing, which would kind of speak to what Kojima was talking about in his Summer Game Fest thing. Is it's supposed to be, again, a kind of new type of game that's going to really capitalize on the cloud infrastructure that Xbox can provide. Now, what that means is anyone's guess, but
I can take a guess.
Go for it.
So I'll give credit to Kyle on this. I think he talked about it. He said that PT was supposed to be a game where you didn't just stop playing it when you turned your Xbox or your PlayStation off. It would be like the protagonist would like email you or like send you texts and something like that to like solve.
I remember that.
Puzzles. Yeah. I think that's what this game's going to be. So I'm just saying it right now to the fanboys out there. Get your cue cards ready. Pretend to like this game. All right.
Pretend to like this game.
Pretend to like it. Pretend to like it, like we pretended to think Death Stranding was the bee's knees. You know, I'm still pretending. I love that game.
I love that game.
I know Dan loved it too. Yeah.
The game was
walking is so much fun.
Exactly. That's the best part of that game.
It is the best part of that game. You're right.
I was just excited that I understood a story that Kojima did. Like that was like the biggest like whole thing of the whole thing.
So the story is actually understandable. Okay.
Yeah, like it's not
usually
like
I dip in on the drugs to get in the Kojima.
I mean,
zone.
there's some parts where you're just like, okay, where's he going with this?
Yeah,
but it all clears up eventually. You're like,
you
that makes sense.
in chapter 7, the peyote definitely hit him. And it gets weird.
Yeah, it gets weird.
Yeah. It's, but it's still, I mean, it's a gorgeous game, a lot of walking, a lot of parts where I'm just like, this is ridiculous. But in the end, it was, something that had never been done before. Like the connecting with the different people was really cool, and working with these people that you're never going to meet, you never talk to, to build these structures to help each other get to where you need to go. It was the whole thing was really well done in that perspective. It was still Kojima, so whether or not you like him or not, that's pretty much where it's going to come down, but I'm sure you'll have a lot of people converting,
of course,
as soon as it comes to Xbox. So
that's what I was going to say is I've never been a big fan of his or his games, as Dan will tell you. So I have always said I think he would make a really good horror game, just because his bizarreness in storytelling could fit horror better than other genres. So we'll see what he makes. I hope it's something horror related, personally. But,
I don't know how he's going to do with the cloud gaming thing. Then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Make it good.
Pampa in the house. What's up, brother? Bring me Silent Hill or Dead Space, please. Love you guys. Let's make that an and, not an or. We need both of them back.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Pampa. Appreciate it, brother. All right. So that's PlayStation, guys. Let's jump over to the Xbox side of the house, because there's some things I wanted to talk about here. So first up, I want to mention is Redfall. We were talking about new IPs that I was just saying that I hope PlayStation shows a new IP at their show whenever this is. And Redfall was exactly that for Xbox at the end of their, kind of capped off their E3 showcase was Redfall, the latest game from Arcane, their Austin studio who made Dishonored and Prey, both amazing games. Super talented team, one of my favorite studios. I know I talk about them a lot, but we found out some new details this week, which I thought kind of shed a little more light on the game. So first of all, apparently this game has been in development since 2017. It started pre-production in 2017, kind of art direction, design ideas through 2018, and started full production in 2019. So it's not really a surprise or a stretch to think that we just saw it for the first time, or saw the trailer, if you will, that this, aiming for summer 2022 release, I believe it was Pete Hines that said, we were confident in that date. That's why we put it out there. So that's good, first of all. Couple details of the game that they went into more detail this week that we shared on the site is they said it's an ever-changing open world, and you can explore the entire island in Arcane fashion. As you explore the island, you will find and collect and be able to customize new gear. So I don't know what that looks like in terms of looting. It has upgraded abilities, which you can modify your play style. They specifically said you can play it bullets and stakes for everyone, or more subtle, probably like sneaking, like they've done in their other games like Dishonored, right? And here's the quote from the co-creative director, Ricardo Bear, who said, "Every game we make is a little different." He said Dishonored featured stealth, Prey leveraged tons of physics-related gameplay, and Mooncrash introduced roguelike elements. Despite all those differences, in case our focus remains on deep world building and inventive game mechanics, and this will be the same for Redfall. So I don't know about you guys, knowing what Arcane can do, knowing their pedigree, knowing now that this game's been in development for a long time, this only makes me even more excited than I already was for this game.
Mm-hmm. I'm totally in. I love Arcane. And their games may never always hit with me, like Prey didn't do it for me. But I always appreciate their games because they do something that is truly inventive with level design. It's always something it's something special. I can't really describe it well.
It is.
It's just it breaks what you traditionally think a game level layout should be like. It's constantly trying to break those rules of what we expect out of a game level or open world. I really dug Dishonored 2. Dishonored 2 is a fantastic game. So if you give me that element, that combat in a multiplayer, co-op setting, I'm really wondering how they're going to break those rules of like how does a multiplayer co-op world supposed to run? That's what gets me really excited. I would say the second most exciting thing out of this is just knowing that we can all thirst over Layla. Because she is.
Yeah.
She is fine.
Yep. Arcane is an amazing studio. I mean, I love Dishonored. I didn't get into Prey so much, but playing Prey, playing Dishonored, I know, playing Prey and playing those games, you can tell that they put their heart and soul into their, games, and that's something. There's no laziness in it. It's just they're a treasure, and keep supporting studios like that, right? Because they will come out and surprise you. And Redfall is going to be, something I'll definitely try. Anything that Arcane has their name on, I'm gonna try. I won't say I'll love it, but we'll see. I'm excited for Redfall and Layla.
Yeah, and they're not only inventive, right? They're unique.
You're a man of taste, Kev.
What'd you say?
I am a man of taste.
Man of culture. Yes. They're not only inventive, right, but unique. And I love that they're one of those studios that still experiments with new IPs frequently, right? I mean, the other side of the house with Arcane has Deathloop coming in September, which again looks incredibly unique, interesting, new mechanics, but still has that Arcane flavor. So both of these titles are way up on my radar. But yeah,
man, it's gonna excuse me, Game Pass. That's all I got to say about it. I don't have to buy it, and if it sucks, I don't lose anything. But I figure this will be awesome because Prey, Dishonored, everything Arcane has put out for me has been amazing. So some of my favorite games of all time. I'm super looking forward to this. Layla, yeah, I'm on that train. So all good.
Not quite Rihanna for you, but it's up there.
Well, nobody is. I mean, let's not start. Let's not let's not. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Did you hear, Dan? Rihanna got rid of her Drake tattoo and she replaced it.
And she's hanging out with Cooley
with an Ains tattoo.
Yeah. Wow. Some guy. I don't even know who he was. I saw some pictures. I was like, you gotta get out of here with that.
She can stab me in the chest with an ice pick. I understand.
Whatever works. Whatever works.
You guys would still love her.
Yeah, I mean, there would be. Yeah, I mean, if I could think of other ways to die, that would be probably up there.
Wow.
All
right.
Okay. We took a turn. I don't know why I brought Rihanna up here.
It's your fault. No, I'm excited for it, and also Rihanna. So,
I think I was thinking about this, right? So we've talked for a while now around major first-party games from Xbox launching, and we've got Forza Horizon 5 obviously coming later this year, and Halo Infinite, which are known quantities, right? It feels like unless we get something in the first half of the year, assuming Redfall launches in summer, which could be May through August, right? Sometime next year. It could be like this is the first kind of major AAA new IP launching on Game Pass, which, obviously if it hits like the other Arcane games that have critically, it starts to, kind of reach that height that we've been kind of talking about for so long.
With Game Pass, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're waiting for right now.
That's what I mean. We've been talking about that, right? Those first-party major AAA games, and this has that potential right there. Yeah, I mean, not to dismiss. Obviously, I would never dismiss Halo. I mean, that's a blockbuster, right? Yeah. Forza Horizon 5 is going to be massive, but this is new IP. It's something different, something new. That
I'm excited, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool. All right, Dan, your favorite part of the show, man. We're going to gush about Halo a little bit.
Go figure.
that was excitement right there.
That we haven't talked about Halo in some
no, and there hopefully won't be. That would be a sad world. You know what I mean?
Be.
So no, we won't stay on it too long, but I did want to mention that they came out, they're doing these monthly updates on Halo Infinite. And obviously we had the E3 showcase and the multiplayer overview. And we haven't announced it yet, but this Tuesday night, I was going to save this for the end, but I'll just shout it out. Tuesday night, we're doing a live Halo roundtable that I'll be hosting with Joe, with Luke, with Ty Guy Travis, with Pat Man, who was part of our winning Halo team. It's going to be a banger, Joe. It's going to be a banger. So looking forward to it.
Shirts at teespring.com/PS You want to display that garbage, you could do it.
You sell a shirt with the word on it. This is what you get.
Capitalism.
But we did get some information on Halo Infinite and how they're going to structure multiplayer this week, which I wanted to touch on, which is it sounds really interesting. So they're going to do it seasons like other games have done, right? Seasons are going to last a quarter, so 3 months for every season. And within each season, they're going to have new content nearly every week, they said. So that's like new customizations, new game modes, stuff like that. The first season is featured around Halo Reach, which we already knew. But it said there's going to be a lot of content in the first season, which we'll have for both new and veteran players, including there's the free battle pass, there's the paid battle pass, there's challenges, there's skill rewards, event rewards, legacy rewards, and there's also campaign unlockables too. So if you're someone who, you know, obviously going to play through the campaign, you'll get unlockables for that as well. There will be special events, which will feature unique rewards, and they're going to have these things called fractures, they call them, which are going to be special events that offer special unlockables that actually lean into Halo canon, which I found really interesting. They talked about how they're going to lean into Halo canon and provide more of a story structure around the universe through multiplayer going forward. And that's going to be a core tenet of what Halo Infinite multiplayer is about, which I think is really cool because we always talk about how the campaign is Master Chief's story, and it's this very, very small slice of the Halo universe. So I think if they can expand upon that in multiplayer and kind of keep that content fresh, it just adds another layer of, you know, seasonal content where it's not just like, okay, this season you're working towards new skins, which is what a lot of other games do too, right? It's like, okay, you can earn new skins and gun skins and whatever, a new operator in Warzone, which makes no difference whatsoever. But this sounds a lot more interesting where you're going to invest in kind of stories. So I don't know, guys, this, you know, as a Halo fan, obviously this is right up my alley. This is just talking to me on an awesome level. But you guys, I know Joe, obviously you're a Halo fan. Kev, I can't remember if you're a Halo fan or not.
So I've played all the Halos. What interests me is it almost sounds like, and I know this is your favorite game, I'm going to mention it, Destiny. But Destiny did have some expansions and some seasons with some really good lore, right? So I'm wondering if they're kind of taking that approach to the multiplayer, and that's what always grabbed me in Destiny. And once I was done finding the lore and kind of complete, I was like, whatever. The skins and shit don't do a whole lot for me. But that actually excites me, and I'm not a huge Halo fan, but this might suck me in if they actually, you know, put some substance and some lore into that. I love discovering new areas, new lore, new people, and just building on that story. So that's cool. And Reach is like my one of my favorites. I think might be my favorite Halo. So I'm all in for that. That's just the more we hear about it, the more excited I am about Halo.
Nice. Yeah. And one of the things, they have this academy approach they're taking where when you first go into multiplayer, it's like this whole separate mode, essentially, which you create your Spartan, and that Spartan's going to be your personality, if you will. That's why they have like voice changing things. They're going to have the AI assistants, and they're going to have tons and tons of customization, which we won't talk about here right now. But you can see on our site, we have a curated update with all the customization they're showing, and you're going to have app support. You'll be able to customize your stuff from your phone or your desktop. It's just all tied together. So yeah, this update was really exciting in that vein.
Yeah.
Joe, what do you think, man? Did you read through this stuff?
Oh no. Yeah. That's what I was looking at, things that piqued my interest the most. I gotta say the battle pass. So they're laying out the outline of it. These seasons last 3 months. The cool thing is, if you don't complete the battle pass, you don't feel that FOMO of missing out. You can still progress it, even though that season's gone away. That's something I really like, and hopefully that's something Fortnite does as well, because I want to give me that Marvel.
Don't bring your Fortnite into our Halo conversation.
I'm just saying. But yeah, no, all of this really excites me. The legacy rewards as well. The one thing that I really love about like Halo 5 right now, which aids, I don't know if you know, but I play Halo 5.
Oh, yeah, you really love that game now, don't you?
Yeah. You would know because I've used it several times. So, but like they have like the legacy battle rifle, the legacy Magnum, and like when I see it, it's like even in like the clunky, like, you know, no textures.
Yeah, but the Halo CE Magnum's like the most powerful gun in the game. It's amazing.
It is. It's awesome, and it even has like the same sound. So like it's incredible. I want them to celebrate things that way, but I also like the influences that they have leading into these seasons, like the samurai look that we're all like fawning over. You know, that gives me to like I think is it called like the Ishimura skin in Halo 2? Like it's giving me those type of vibes as well.
Halo 3,
sorry. I'm really everything that Halo is teasing at us, or 343 is teasing at us with Halo. I'm all in for it. Just give me the flight test, the beta test, whatever you're calling it. I think about Halo and now this Ghost thing like daily. Like Ghost, even before it was teasing, it just gives me fond memories that I want to jump so badly into these universes. Just give me the excuse. So just give me the go and I'm here, Halo.
Yeah. As Jordan said, it's Hayabusa armor. That's the Halo.
Hayabusa, there you go.
And as Lady said, so many people who are not big Halo fans are excited. So it makes her even more excited, which is true. There's a buzz around Halo right now that we haven't seen in a very long time, which is amazing.
And it seems like everyone's happy.
Yeah,
so far.
Yeah. For the Halo community, it's rare to get this much consensus.
Yeah,
100%.
It's like the Halo community is like the Star Wars fans of gaming. They just live in a constant disappointment where things could be better. But every once in a while, things intersect.
Yeah,
you know?
No doubt. And here's this awesome shot they posted this week, by the way.
Yeah.
Which just looks amazing. You see in the bottom right corner there, it's really small, but it says fractures. So apparently this cool armor that they showed off is going to be part of that first fracture leading into that lore and that event when the game launches. So, yeah, amazing. Dan, you don't. We joke about this all the time. Not a big Halo multiplayer guy. You're going to play the campaign. Yep. Does the thought of having some more lore kind of investment in your own Spartan and kind of leaning into that other stuff, the extended universe in multiplayer, interest you at all, or are you still in the camp of it's just multiplayer? I don't think I'm going to get into it regardless.
Yeah, there's 100% chance I'd never play it. I mean, it's just I'm just not good, and so it just. And
well,
that's
if
any
it's
multiplayer
showing
game.
us anything, Dan, you don't have to be good to play these games.
Damn,
it's rough. Listen, I would normally make fun of him also, but I've seen him play, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. So yeah, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, it's such a, and like Ains has talked about before, it's such a specific game with like such specific tactics. It's a lot different than Warzone or Battlefield to a certain extent. It's just there's different kinds of guns, different kinds, it's just there's so much difference between that and another multiplayer game that it would take, years and years to perfect that craft. And now, maybe you never do. It's just,
So they do have, for people like yourself, one of the things that they've talked about is this training area in the multiplayer.
Make a difference.
But one thing that's interesting is they said, there's bots in there which show you kind of the mechanics and stuff, right? But the bots will even be usable in custom games, which I thought was cool. So like if you just like playing and, just messing around, for instance, you could get a squad of 6 or 8 or 12, whatever of your friends and play against teams of bots just for fun if you want to, which is the first time they've had that in a Halo game, which is cool.
That's the last multiplayer kind of stuff I played. It was like Forge, or something like that. That when I was, when my kids were younger, we played it all the time. That was our thing. We get in there, Forge. I'd let the kids make up their map, do whatever they're gonna do, and then we jump in and do whatever. That was fun to me because it was with the kids. I know there was really no chance of 12-year-olds telling me how much of a scrub I am and laughing at me. So that was enjoyable. But other than that, I'm all in for the single player campaign.
They don't tell you how they're having sexual relations with your mother?
No.
They do it all the time. Various positions, apparently.
Really?
I'm unaware for so long.
By the way, I see Lady talking about the orange armor. So here's that screenshot they showed of one of the models.
To your manager armor. I saw that tweet.
It is kind of a funny pose, right? Like,
yeah.
But the armor looks fantastic. I think,
and also the visor looks like it's glaring, which amplifies the look.
It does. That's
too
beautiful.
Funny, man. I hadn't heard that. That's great. But anyway, so some exciting news around Halo right now, which is awesome. And they said we'll be hearing about the flighting here later this summer, which it's almost July, so probably won't be long before we start to be able to get our hands on it. So anyway, amazing. Lastly, on the Xbox side of the house, I want to talk about this Windows 11 event. There's not a whole lot to discuss here, but I figured I'd just get your thoughts on it. So Obviously, Windows 11 event was more about PC and operating system, but at the end, Sarah Bond did come out, talked about a few things. One is that we found out this week that, Phil Spencer talked previously at E3 about they're coming to the end of upgrading their xCloud blades with Series X hardware, which obviously provides a much better experience compared to the 1S's they were using previously in the blades. And we saw evidence of that. People like Jez and others were showing now that when you log into certain games on xCloud, there's actually options. Like you can choose the frame rate you're going to play at. And he was describing that it's a much, much better experience. He was showing off Nier, I believe, playing at 60 FPS. And he said, honestly, if he didn't know that he was on xCloud, he would have thought it was local. Nice. Like the input lag was basically non-existent. So that's fantastic news, first of all, because they've also talked about how beyond expanding to more areas of the world later this year with xCloud and Game Pass markets like Australia xCloud, I mean, not Game Pass, markets like Australia, Japan, Brazil, etc. They also talked about how they're adding the Just Play button into the Xbox app, which is amazing. So basically now, because you have this browser version, and Kev, I know you deal in this space, and you could probably talk more about it, but because they have this browser space that they've been obviously beta testing and whatnot, and now it's more fully featured, that's more fleshed out. You've got the server backend improvements. Now you're going to get to a place where, like, I could take my laptop with me on a trip, right? Go into the Xbox app and literally just find a game I own and click play. You don't have to have anything locally installed. It's very similar in theory, right, in terms of architecture to what Stadia does, except for you've got actual games here. So I think this is an exciting time. We've been talking for a while around the potential of xCloud. It's potential. We've been hearing for, 12, 18 months, whatever. But it's really like, it feels like it's all coming together now. And I honestly believe by another year, which I know sounds crazy, but probably by next year, there will be just an ease of use to access the Xbox ecosystem that we've been kind of alluding to for years now. And I think it's exciting just to think about being able to be anywhere and accessing Halo or Sea of Thieves or whatever you feel like playing, without even worrying about if you have a console sitting there.
Yep. Yeah. And all you're going to need is a controller, or a keyboard mouse if the game supports it, and you're good to go. I mean, I think it's fantastic. They're gonna. It looks like they're gonna integrate, Game Pass and Xbox into Windows 11 so tightly that they're gonna be
natively.
Yes, and that's fantastic. I'm glad that they're gonna go ahead and do that. It just gives me more confidence that they're 100% in on Xbox at this point if they're tying it in with their OS. And I'm loving these updates that are coming to be able to play these games without having to download them, to stream a game, see if you even like it on your Xbox. That will eventually hit as well. So you'll be able to just queue up a game and start streaming it, and then download it later if you want. So I think xCloud is becoming something that's just going to be woven into it, that people will be using even if they don't really know that they're using it. You may not, that person's just going to press play and not realize what they're doing. It's just going to be part of that, the UI at that point. So I think it's all good, man. And the upgrades are great. I'm glad that they're upgrading to the Series X, which is awesome. Now, you're going to get just better input latency. All that is going to come with that hardware as well. So, I didn't believe that they could actually pull anything off like this, to be honest. They've been talking about the cloud since 2013, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and in the article I'm writing, I write how people fundamentally don't understand how big of an undertaking this is. Right?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Monumental.
It's monumental. They they have people installing these blades, these servers, basically all over the country to at various data centers. It's a lot of money, dude. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of infrastructure. It's a lot of labor and time that's going to go into this. So you got to fully commit to this shit. This isn't something that you just, oh, hey, let's try this. If they're going for a round 2 of upgrading these things, then I think they're in this for the long haul. I hope it doesn't become the main focus, because I really do like local gaming, and I think we're still a ways away from cloud gaming replacing that for people like us. But for the more casual person, I could see this being a thing, man. I could see people subscribing, and xCloud does a lot of things right. Is still improving, but I've tried all of these, and technically Stadia, I think, is technically there, but I don't think that they're gonna be here for much longer, to be honest. Luna was garbage. Amazon's got a long ways to go, and I think Microsoft might be victorious in their actual, overall cloud gaming, vision at this point. So we'll see. It's something. It's an add-on at this point, right? We already have access to it.
Yes, that's
if you have Game Pass, ultimately.
And the point we always talk about, which you just touched on, right, is the fact that, look, the people who are like, oh, I don't want a game on the cloud, you don't have to. No one's forcing you to do anything. It's not a replacement. It's an addition. But what people miss in the bigger picture globally, and we've talked about this so many times, Dan, on the show, but is, there's hundreds of millions of people in more remote locations, in poor nations, in certain situations where they can't afford a console. They just can't. They can't afford a smart TV. There's all these situations where just being able to access a game from the internet is viable to them. And the fact that Xbox has the ecosystem and now Game Pass to provide the entertainment is huge. And I think people are really kind of missing the big picture and how impactful this can be globally in the next few years.
Yeah, it's a gigantic thing. I mean, you could literally get a Chromebook and a controller and play with your friends on Xbox. I mean, if it came down to that, it wouldn't be my first choice. But
no, you
could get a cheap tablet and possibly load it up there. And I don't know, the accessibility thing is nothing to shun at this point. I think they've done a good job, because I was a joker. I was the power of the cloud, But I think they're finally there. They just kind of
they talked about it too early, as always.
Yeah, they popped off a bit early.
Too early. Yeah, I always quote, Albert Pinello, who said, just because something doesn't work today doesn't mean it won't work in the future, and that's true of kind of everything. It just takes time to come to fruition. So
they need to. I mean, I'm good with this. This is fantastic. And now I want them to hit their mobile apps, at least the Android one, and get that to where the rest of the things are, because that's going to get you those people. You can't, like you said, it's not like they can't afford a TV. They can't afford a Chromebook or a laptop. Maybe they can afford a phone for $100 or $200. That's where you're going to get a lot more people into the ecosystem. And they talked about that before. That's mobile gaming. Is where it's at. So I'm hoping they work on that next and kind of get that coming, because if I'm playing on PC, and this is me, I'm going to probably download the game. Obviously, most of us are. And unless you're just trying it out, But like I say, if you're doing Halo, I'm going to download it 100% if I PC gamed. But like there's so much potential in my phone, and that's really, really where I want them to focus on, for more of a selfish kind of thing. But I think they'll reach more people that way, as opposed to, the integration is great, and I think it'll be, it's a fantastic addition. But once it starts, people can just turn the phones on, and they're getting all these touch controls right now with all these new games.
It's actually pretty amazing too.
Right? Yeah, it's nuts. So then you don't even need this high dollar equipment. All you need is this. Not that these are cheap by any means, but some of them, you ain't gonna need much. Get yourself an old Nokia or something. Play on them.
Yeah, a lot of those are subsidized too. I mean, people just like the all access, right? It's subsidized or payment plans, and I think that also brings accessibility. Right. It's much easier to swallow $20 a month versus $900. So yeah, no, for sure. Their apps definitely need some work, and their PC app needs some work too. It's a little rough, but I'm hoping that Windows 11 wraps that up.
That's what they showed, right? They're also completely overhauling the store with Windows 11, which is a very necessary thing for them to do. Let's hope they get it right. But I think you kind of mentioned it, is we heard Satya and Phil prior to E3 talking about them being all in on gaming, right? And they've said that multiple times. And I think what we've seen over the past few weeks is all these different avenues that they're investing in, huge investments, kind of, just shows that. So it's an exciting time. I mean, there's so much going on right now in terms of what we already talked about today, right? There's all these games coming, and we've got new consoles, and there's all these different ways to access these games and play them. And it's just an incredible time to be a gamer.
Let me ask you guys something. I mean, I don't know any tech stuff, so will these new server blades that they're installing, the 1Xs or Series Xs, whatever they're putting in, will that help with the console streaming side of stuff, or is that just based on your ISP or your internet service? You know what I mean? Like, will that make a big difference, or am I just straight streaming from my console so it doesn't matter? I'm not a tech guy, so I just wondering if that will help that part of it.
It will. So what happens is everything gets processed on the server end, and they deliver those images to you, right? So if there's better processing and more resources on that end, right, then they can, and you have the internet connection that's capable of bringing it down, speed and latency, right? Then yes, you'll see better image quality, better bit rates. All of that will be there. Because right now, I mean, we're streaming with 1S.
720p
hardware
right now.
Yes, 720p. So, I mean, you're going to see 1080 plus. And I think that'll be a huge difference. Yeah, the graininess will be gone. As long as you have, I'd say 200 meg and above internet with decent, latency to wherever their closest
ping, right?
data centers are. Yeah, your ping.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a big improvement. It might be what it needs to really shine. I think it'll be huge.
Awesome.
Good episode to have you on here, Kev.
Yeah, no doubt. Here's the thing. Like I was playing, I told you, Haynes, I played MLB console streaming, basically from my console. I loved it, but there was just always those hiccups that I had. So on the app, you can play. I was streaming the Series X version, right? You can just, through regular Game Pass, through the cloud gaming, you can just play the regular one. I didn't know that. I had no idea. Like, it didn't show up when I went to play it. All it said was launch on console. I was just like, what the heck? I'm supposed to be able to play this. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like get that stuff organized where it looks awesome, where I can just go, hey, plug in my whatever the hell kind of controller I have and just sit in my bed, relax, playing some MLB. That's my soup, my comfort food. Like, that's what I want this to get to, because like you guys said, it's not going to ever replace for us that console thing, but it's such a nice addition to have. And just having that option is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it.
No doubt. I also just don't think it's for us. Like,
it's not meant for us.
Yeah, this is when people are like, why even buy an Xbox? I'm like, that's the point, you dummy. It's like for people that are lower income, this is a perfect entry for you. If you're a college kid who's a gamer, this is a perfect entry point for you. It's an entry point.
It's also distribution, right?
Yeah.
If this works to the degree we're talking about, those markets that Xbox has never distributed in before, they don't have to. You don't have to try and get hardware into those markets.
Yeah, and that's I think the point that a lot of people are missing, because I think, Ains, you said it earlier, same with Kev, they spoke way too early about this stuff. Way too early about it. Like it was kind of like Steve Jobs having the iPad back in 2000, or like Obama looking at the iPhone in 2005. It's like this technology existed, but it was nothing to talk about until it's actually there. And I think that's always hopefully is something that Xbox has learned. But like you're also seeing like the success of Game Pass in the Asian markets as well, which is going to be a huge thing for them to continuously do. I do want to shout out the Windows event because Windows finally realized that their OS is ugly as sin. So they just decided to rip off Mac OS, and I really dig that. Like literally everything. So
I'm so okay with it.
I'm so well, you know what? They suck so bad that Windows literally copied everything. The start menu, where the pin stuff is, even like, oh, you can play your Android apps on your computer now. Like, come on, gang. Is this your god?
Is this your god? Bill Gates? By the way, I need to shout out Elu, who has the best comment I think we've ever seen. Who the heck downvoted this Bitcast? I will find you, give you a chia pet. I'll watch you get attached to this lily plant, and then I'll take it and bury it in the landfill with ET. Right. So I don't know who downvoted
terrifying.
It is what it is. Terrifying. You know, if you're still hanging out with us or listening to this or watching this later, give us that upvote. You know we appreciate it. I don't know who's downvoted.
Hey, Hassan's in the chat. Hey, it's Hassan. He lives in Chicago. They just had a tornado warning over there. You doing all right, Hassan? Hassan, if you can hear me,
if you can,
Hassan, okay.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
I'm watching from my basement.
Right, wink at us if you're good.
Let me know. I just want to make sure he's good. I saw his first thing I thought of. I was like, oh man. But my daughter's back
sitting there playing Scarlet Nexus. Yeah, he was super pumped for that game. So I'm sure he's online hanging out.
He's doing good, he says.
He said, I'm doing all right. Okay, cool. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and wrap it up with that being the last note. Let me shout out a few things here. Got a big, we're kind of ending with a lot of this xCloud and kind of future of Xbox stuff. I've been writing a long article on that stuff that's going to come out Monday, so keep an eye for that. We're doing, as I just mentioned, a Halo Roundtable live show on Tuesday night. That should be at 8 p.m. Central. So that's going to be several of us from around the community, you know, all Halo stands. Dan will not be there.
No, I will not be there.
Who are going to
show up and moderate and ask questions. Why do you like this game so much?
Yeah, this is why you're not going to be there. So
yeah,
we're going to talk obviously around what we want out of Halo Infinite story, the Chief, you know, obviously Chief's story, where they take it from the end of Halo 5, etc., along with a whole bunch of Infinite multiplayer stuff. So tune in for that. That'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be a big community conversation. And then if you like this guy, you know, collectible stuff we're always doing here. So we've got Mr. Solaire from Dark Souls. Picked that statue up this week.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, Solaire from Dark Souls. Come on, Dan.
Dude, I don't play Dark Souls. I swear to God, I thought that was Monty Python. Like a Monty Python figure. I
could see that.
I could see
that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah,
it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, that's exactly what's in my head. I was like, that is
it is not the Black Knight. No, that is Solaire. Right. So that's up, and I'm also reviewing a couple controllers. I think I've mentioned this before, but this Hex Gaming esports controller video, and I'm also checking out, just for the hell of it, this Hori mini controller for the Switch that they just released too. So stay tuned for that stuff. But guys, it's been a fun conversation, chat. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Let's go ahead and go around the room here. Kev, man, Mr. Backlog Chronicles on Sunday nights. Let's shout out where they can find that, and of course yourself.
Yep. Me, Mo, Mike, and Jordan host the Backlog Chronicles every Sunday at it's 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we talk shit. And if you want to join in, I think we have a decent show. I mean, I'd say a solid, 6 out of 10 for sure. So come in and
it's better than Dark Alliance.
I mean, yes, our show is 100% more entertaining than Dark Alliance. So yeah, no, thanks for having me, Ains. It's always a pleasure, and I look forward to eventually coming back on when you invite me, because you will.
You're always welcome back, and I'll see you on Dark Alliance later tonight, man. Mr. Bad Take, excuse me, Bad Bit. What's happening, man? Where can people find you?
I just gotta say, I like Kevin's strategy of like, hey, listen, what I got here isn't special, but it's something that's here.
If you want to consume it,
just come on by, guys. I mean, what else are you doing?
And Lady's going to be on there tomorrow night as well, I understand.
Yes, she's coming on. We are so excited to have her. I think it's her first time on, or first time on with me at least. So
fair enough.
Sweet. You can find me over at the Trophy Room. a PlayStation podcast
where you and your best
by the
friend
players for
Kyle.
the players. You're getting ahead of yourself. You're getting ahead of yourself. Slow down. I'm saying it nice and calm so people digest my words. Okay. Where each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. You can find my YouTube channel out there by the Trophy Room Show. You can find the Trophy Room wherever you find your podcast services like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and you can find Cast Co-op, where me, Ains is there, Luke, when he wants to show up. Yeah, a bi-weekly podcast where we just, chill. We talk about the big topics of the month almost. And it's always a fun time. So go check that out too. At CastCo_op.
Yeah. If you want to consume it, you know what I mean?
If that delivery is epic, I'm gonna have to get with you and learn how to schmooze like that.
Exactly. You follow my lead, I'll lead you astray.
All right, man. Thanks, guys, for coming on. Dan, Mr. Ikishima, anything before we head out?
I'm good. Have a good week, guys. See you next week. Probably,
yeah.
I'll be right here.
We'll see what happens.
Right here. You can consume us.
I love you, Dan.
Yeah.
That was Bitcast episode 160. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in as always, and we will see you next Saturday. Peace.